We're going to talk about the speculation of Ethereum and the Ponzi schemes linked to using Ethereum as it stands right now. Let's find out what this is about. So welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like and comment. SpongeBob, cool. So let's talk about the rise of Ethereum. And I want to put some of my thoughts out there now. There's some interesting thoughts coming out in this video. And yeah, you could probably see them by some tweets in the Ethereum community yesterday. Kind of funny, but we're going to talk about certain things. So obviously this was the first one. Bloomberg, Ethereum price is speculation while Bitcoin price is based on fundamentals. Key point, key wording. I can kind of agree and I kind of disagree. For what it's worth, I really rate Ethereum. I understand the fundamentals of the growth of the decentralized application, obviously the future elements of it in terms of the speed, the scale, all kinds of stuff like that. But we've got to look at the fundamentals of time as well. The timeline of Ethereum, the fundamentals could be broken with Ethereum if they cock up their releases, simple as that. So just be careful on that. But I want to talk more on the world of, obviously you got DeFi. That's all hyped up at the minute. The hype of Ethereum right now as it stands is mainly off the back of what's to come in the future. That's good. We want that. We want that kind of demand to go. I really rate Ethereum. It's done this in 2017, but it can be even better. Is that fundamentals? Technically, yeah. But ultimately, you've got hype as well. People will drive towards something that looks like a good value proposition and ultimately go on. I think Ethereum is definitely a four-figure coin in the future, obviously, but you've got to, you've got to be careful, and there is always those undermining issues of, is it going to be their release date properly? Is it going to be good, etc. So let's figure that out. Obviously, Bloomberg remain unimpressed with Ethereum, calling it a rally, is speculative, which is, that's not good to hear. But there is an element of truth there in terms of they don't physically have anything better than what they've had, and the whole market has increased. So that does make sense, but is that to say that, $400 as it stands, is that the top? Don't know, who knows. But let's talk about a few little things. Now, I want to talk mainly about this because this is really interesting. Obviously, Blockstream's Adam Back slams Ethereum as a Ponzi scheme. Now, I disagree with this massively, and I want to talk about Ponzi schemes and why this is related to this video. I'm quite concerned about the market in terms of, I've always said this, if you've been watching my older videos, I always say, the bigger the opportunity becomes of growth, the more the scammers will come. And that's obvious in the way I started in the cryptocurrency space back in 2016. There was all kinds going on. 2017, there was huge Ponzi schemes. We know them. There were BitConnect, was obvious. Obviously, there was USI Tech, there was that Recycle Bot, there was BitPT, there was loads. I'm going to go over a few new ones in a bit that are currently out and working right now. But they're using Ethereum, not Bitcoin. That's interesting to listen about. But moving on to this. Adam Back has compared Ethereum and other high cap altcoins as Ponzi schemes. BitConnect, obviously Charles Ponzi was where the Ponzi scheme came from. Ethereum, OneCoin, which is an obvious scam. But Cardano, Ripple, Bernie Madoff, Stella Lumen, obviously, this is a really bad, in my viewpoint, a really bad comment. Obviously, Vitalik jumped back in. And this has just caused a bit of a debate. And, that's where the problems lie. The big problems lie with one element of Ethereum, and that is its decentralized application. Anyone can use Ethereum, technically, and you can build on it. That's where the problems lie with bad actors in the crypto space to use and leverage the ERC20 token. But it's always going to be a thing in cryptocurrency. They're going to use cryptocurrencies to do it. It's happened with Bitcoin. It happens with XRP. It happened now it's happening with Ethereum. You're gonna put money into something, you're gonna get it out. That is a Ponzi scheme. But the way that this has kind of came about, this is all bollocks, but it's kind of triggered a little thing that I want to talk about in my video today about Ponzi schemes and why I feel that a percentage of the growth of Ethereum is actually down to the fact of Ponzi schemes right now, which is kind of the worry. Nothing to do with Ethereum, it's just Ethereum has the tokens. So if people are going to put in Ethereum into something and they're going to get a 2% back every day, bollocks, they're going to get it back. And that's where the collateral damage kind of happens. And it's a shame, really. So that's kind of the issue. But obviously Vitalik obviously reciting old propaganda, is becoming less and less effective every day. Ethereum is rising, proof of stake and sharding are rising, roll-ups are here. So I personally back Ethereum, I hold Ethereum, but it does make me laugh where people go back in time and try and throw stuff at things. But the big damage, in my viewpoint, and over this course of this video you'll probably see, is price pumps due to Ponzi's. It kind of happens. New people come into the space. It's a very, very easy thing to make money for the scammers. It's also very, very easy for the new person to make money too, which is kind of the issue. But let's talk about all kinds of stuff. First company I want to mention is obviously Forsage. This has been around for a while. I'm not going to go too much into it because obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it. But this is a company where it's been banned in the Philippines, which is obviously a very, very nice little warning sign. So that's obviously a big, massive deflection. Fucking stay away from this. Now, what it does is it's essentially a smart contract earning. You put, essentially you put Ethereum into it and you get Ethereum out. You get bonuses for recruiting people. And I've seen people make a lot of money on this. And they're bragging about it, they're touting about it. It just reminds and looks like the likes of BitConnect, US High Tech, etc. This is a problem because how many of those new people are coming in, earning Ethereum, buying and selling, and how much of that volume is increasing the price? We don't know. We don't physically know how big these companies fully are, how much volume is going through them. But if you can do a little bit of arithmetic, and if these have got over 100,000 people in, and they're doing a big amount of volume, or even if they're putting so much in, it'll add up. And if that's a small percentage of the current volume, well, we're going to start seeing that it is speculation of the new investor, but they're doing it the wrong way. They're doing it the wrong way, and they're earning Ethereum thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread, but in reality they're not actually buying the asset, they're just getting the asset in a Ponzi scheme, which is a problem. So it's that reflection looks bad for every other investor because it's actually a pump. And we're going to talk on to another one in a second. This one, Lionshare, another one, exactly the same sort of thing. Again, same sort of thing, touting it, pushing it. Same thing, smart contract, earn it, unlimited amount of Ethereum. Well, that's bollocks because it's got a maximum, Well, it's crazy. So basically how these do work, and I want to make this very, very clear. If you are putting stuff in, like anything that says that you're going to make money back daily, it's all a load of bollocks, basically, especially on a random platform. So just be absolutely careful. And there's so many people will lose money on these because they tend to disappear. They tend to vanish very, very quickly. So just be very, very careful. Another thing as well, going back into 2019, the false representation of Millionaire Money. Millionaire Money was a traditional sort of platform thing built on the Ethereum network, which was a fraudulent scheme. And this was actually going under the pretense of a legitimate Ethereum blockchain company, but it was actually a scam. It was a high risk, high reward bollocks scam, like what I kind of mentioned before, a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme, whatever you want to call it. And it was actually built on the Ethereum network, which is where the problems lie. As I said at the start of this video, they've got the facility to build on. If people build something that's a bad actor, and it's not good. It's not good, and people will obviously lose money. So there you go. That's obvious. But there's also this one as well. Obviously, Ethereum Gold. This is a lot of pish as well. People are touting this. Not very nice people are touting this. Essentially, I've had a few run-ins with a few of them. They get paid for referral bonuses and all kinds of stuff. And you know what? Fucking hilarious. Can't even fucking spell. Can't even fucking spell. How on earth? How are you meant to be taken seriously if you can't even spell? So be warned about the world of cryptocurrency. But I want to talk about this finally, this last little bit here. So this is the Bitcoin chart. Now I don't want to worry people, but this pump from 2019, we're not going to go back beyond that because I can't be bothered. When you think about speculation and rallies and value, this pump, in hindsight, and when you're looking back, was due to two big things, in my opinion. There was obviously fresh demand, but Plus Token and Cloud Token were live at that period. Right? I want to talk about that. That was harvesting a lot of money. It was like what, 5.4 billion in Plus token, which was seized. That's a lot of money, a lot of Bitcoin. So that's obviously interesting. Cloud token was very, very similar. I think that's what, 3 or 4 billion. Both obviously now gone, arrested, and etc. But that's money that was generated off new investors coming in, cycling that money, accumulating it, putting it into a platform, getting percentage returns, and getting a valuation back. So, how much of speculation value do we need to kind of show of natural growth? Any volume, in my opinion, is going to move the market, but it depends where the volume comes from. If you're catching people who are new to the space, who have never ever invested in the assets before, but they've actually got involved in a Ponzi scheme, well, it's going to move the market. It's essentially going to move the market. And I say, basic maths will kind of say, if there's like 1 million people in a scheme, and the daily volume's like 50, 60, 70, 80 million going through it, well, that's going to move any coin. That's going to move any coin. It's going to go onto exchanges, out through the little back doors, and etc. So just be careful. But one thing I will say about Ethereum, if that gets bigger and those schemes get bigger, it's going to inflate the price. It's going to go up. But will it sustain? That's the thing. So I'm not saying that Ethereum is obviously a Ponzi scheme. I'm just saying Ethereum is being used by the Ponzi scheme creators to get Ethereum and multiple gains of their portfolio. So just be careful. So there you go. That's today's video done. Just be careful of these pumps and dumps. Obviously, if this was a plus in a cloud token pump, well, we came back down. If this is the COVID pump and the Nasdaq pump or speculation, well, maybe it could be. But we got to look at the greater picture. What happens if we go back to the still game of no extra demand? Where do we go? Let's find out.